Hello there. What happens when your usual team can't show up and you have to lead with new faces, no playbook, and lots of unknown? Well, guess what? I recently found that out and it was nothing short of powerful. So, whether you're navigating change, leading new teams, or just needing a reminder that leadership is about connection and not control, this episode is just for you. So tune in right now. Hello there. I'm Adrienne Benton, your host, your coach, your fellow leader. And guess what? Today, I'm pulling back the curtain. That's right. I'm pulling back the curtain on a real moment from this past month for me, where I had a leadership stretch that turned into a leadership win. I am someone with over 2 decades of sustained leadership experience. And in today, this vital conversation, we're going to talk about the power to not just power through and fake it till you make it, but to live it, not individually, but to live it as a team. I want to start off, first of all, by saying thank you, and thank you. Because of you, Transformation Station Leadership Podcast hit 500 podcast downloads. That's on audio. And so you can find the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. But again, I want to say thank you so much for joining Transformation Station Leadership Podcast community. And by all means, continue to share. As you are watching, I want to invite you even now. Let us know where you're watching from because indeed we are an international community. Italy, Spain, Germany, California, New York, South Africa, Bermuda. Where are you watching from? Shout out your country in the chat. And remember to like, love, share, and subscribe. If you're listening, again, listen on your favorite podcast platform, or you can watch this live or watch the replay on YouTube or Facebook. All right, let's dig right in. So, we're talking today about what real teamwork looks like. All right. So here's the background. I was tasked with facilitating an event, but this time my usual team, my usual staff was not able to join me. New environment, new dynamics. And although I had a skeleton of what needed to happen, there really was no standard playbook. And so instead of trying to control everything, I chose to look around me and choose collaboration. And I say to you as a leader, when you find yourself in a new environment, new dynamic, or the same environment, but new players, right? You have someone new that comes to the job, they're new, they come with experience, but you don't have a trusted experience as far as having gone through the pressure together to really honestly know what they bring to the table. What do you choose as a leader? Do you choose control or do you choose collaboration? What do you choose? So one of the areas that I want to invite you to think about when you're looking at teamwork, whether you are a pastor, a principal, CEO of an organization, number one, I want to invite you to have clear communication. It's important that you set this expectation from the very first text, from the very first meeting, not the first event. Prior to the event, there should be clear communication so that by the time the event happens, everyone is clear about what is the mission, what are their roles, and what are the non negotiables. This is critical. As I was getting ready for the event, I again began to assess who were the people that were going to be there and who were the people that I could trust, that I could collaborate with to be able to assist for getting the mission completed. And prior to the event, we had a virtual meeting. I introduced myself. Here is the agenda. This is what we need to do. These are the roles. And so prior to event, again, they knew the mission, the role, and their non-negotiables. Now, why is this so critical? This is extremely critical because confusion is expensive. Again, I want to say that confusion is expensive. Welcome, Doug. Doug is watching from Italy. So glad that you're here joining us today. Welcome. And please engage in conversation. But again, confusion is expensive. I want you to stop and think about the times in which confusion has been expensive for you as a leader. It has been expensive for your team. How is it expensive? Number one, it costs energy. Costs lots of energy. Confusing can be draining as you're trying to decipher, as you're trying to get through, wade through some of the drama and the mess, right? It costs trust. You want to have a foundation of trust, but when there is confusion, it causes trust, which then leads to doubt. Doubt in the direction that the team is going, doubt in the capabilities of team members to contribute. And in high stakes, time sensitive environments, it also will cost you results. So confusion is expensive. It costs energy, it costs trust, it costs results. Transformation Station Leadership original quote: confusion is expensive. Clarity is leadership currency. So the leadership principle here is clarity is compassion. Many leaders think that strong communication means more words, but real clarity is not about talking. I have learned it's about communicating what matters most. Clarity tells your team what success looks like. Clarity reduces emotional guesswork. Clarity creates safety because when people know what to expect, they know how to contribute. Your team, do they know what to expect? Do they know how you expect them to contribute? In fact, I have found that clarity is a form of leadership care. When, as leaders, we are able to name expectations up front, we are not micromanaging, we're actually empowering. And when we do that, we are removing the ambiguity so that people can focus on excellence. I know you want your team to focus on excellence. How can you continue to provide the expectations up front? How can you continue to provide leadership with care by providing clarity? All right. So here's a real moment. During this particular event, we created what I like to call rapid alignment thread. In one email and one group thread, we clearly mapped out again who was leading what, not just who was leading, but what tone did we want to set. We took time to clarify what well done would look like, and then we provided space for input, questions, and flexibility. I call this rapid alignment thread. This is a formula that you can use when you are seeking and looking to provide clear communication to your team. The alignment thread, I'll say it again. Who is leading what? What is the tone that you want to set? What does well done look like? And provide space for questions, input, and flexibility. And because we were very clear early on, we did not have to overcorrect later on. We didn't spend time checking up on each other mid event. We were checking in. Do you see the difference there? Because there was clarity, we weren't checking up, almost like right, wrong, right? But we were checking in. Hey, how are things going? Are we meeting the mark? Have we set the tone? Is the tone that we wanted to create, is it working? Is the well done that we are looking for, are we accomplishing that? We weren't reacting to gaps. We were reinforcing the strength. That's the power of aligned communication. You want to make this work for your team? I want to invite you to do what I call a one-page rapid alignment brief. What's included in the brief? Number one, mission. What are we here to accomplish and why does it matter? Clear question that brings alignment. Number two, what are the top three musts? What does that mean? The top three musts are, what are three things that must happen in this event for this project, right? What are the three things that must happen no matter what? And number three, what are the roles and checkpoints? Meaning, who owns what? And when will we check in? Keep it simple, keep it tight, share it fast. Because even a temporary team can become a high functioning team if they start with clarity. I want to invite you to ask yourself this question today. Where have I been assuming clarity instead of confirming clarity? Where have I been assuming clarity? That means, where are you assuming that the team knows, the team understands, instead of confirming? In the military, they say all the time, inspect what you expect. So take a moment, again, a reflective leadership moment, and ask yourself, where have I been assuming that everything is clear, everyone understands, instead of confirming that everything is clear and everyone understands? All right. It's truly important to understand that you may not always have your normal team, your usual team, the people that you can lean on, but whoever you have around me has the ability to collaborate with you to form a high functioning team. Because here's the reality. Leadership by its nature is it's a demanding role. Leaders are expected to set the vision, make high impact decisions, manage conflict, and foster growth and innovation. Are those expectations on you today? Either self imposed, you have set them, or the nature of the job causes that to be the case? I know it is for me. These expectations many times come with long hours, high emotional involvement, and continuous pressure. However, the cumulative weight of our responsibilities does not have to take a toll on us mentally, physically, and emotionally when we take the time to cause our team to function truly as a team. All right. Next, I want to focus on the power of ask. So, number one, clear communication. Number two, what's important is the power of ask. When I found myself in that situation where I did not have my normal team members there to help me carry out this event, as I looked around, I was able to locate, to contact, to come in touch with two individuals who stepped up without hesitation. No rehearsals, no history, just a shared mission. Mm. Why does this matter? It matters because leaders often hesitate to ask for help. Is that you? Do you hesitate to ask for help? And yet we learn that by asking, we invite ownership, we invite dignity, we invite connection. Ownership, dignity, connection comes through the power of ask. Now, I know this may sound simple, but mutual respect is built when we simply ask. I have found over the years that respect is one of these words that sometimes we throw around in leadership spaces. But here's the truth. Many teams work together without actually respecting each other. This team, your team, you work together to get the job done. Is there mutual respect amongst the team members? The team that I was able to form on the fly, we didn't just cooperate, we collaborated. No one tried to overtake the space. No one was silent or disengaged from the other, but everyone brought their strength and gave room for the others to do the same. Remember this: respect isn't granted by title, it's earned by presence. And in a high pressure environment, it's tempting to default to the loudest voice or the most experienced person in the room. But mutual respect is not a hierarchy, it's about recognizing value in one another, no matter how long you've worked together. Leader, it's about listening without interrupting. Leader, it's about trusting someone else's way, even if it's not your own. Leader, it's about honoring each other's zone of genius. Leader, it's about honoring and giving respect to allowing your team members to learn as they go along. Remember this: our best teams are not powered by ego, but our best teams are powered by ownership and mutual trust. So let me paint the picture again from the event that I'm sharing with you. We had never worked as a trio before. We each had different backgrounds, different strengths, different leadership styles, but here's what happened. One of us had the gift of logistics, making sure that everything ran smoothly. Another had the gift of presence, able to hold the emotional temperature in the room. And I was able to bring the framework and the flow, keeping the mission on track. Because we were able to collaborate with each other's strengths, no one stepped on anyone else's lane. No one took it personal if a mistake was made. We filled in where the other needed seamlessly, not from obligation, but from awareness and from true ownership. That's respect in action. No competition, but completion. No competition, but completion. Here's a quote I want to share with you from Transformation Station. When everyone is heard, no one needs to shout. When everyone is heard, no one needs to shout. And I want to share with you here a simple practice for cultivating mutual respect for your team. Before or after a big initiative, ask these three questions. What strengths did I witness from someone else on the team? Where did I see someone carry something I couldn't? How can I affirm their contribution publicly or privately? Three simple questions that you as a leader can ask yourself and answer before or after a big initiative. One more time. Number one, what strengths did you witness from someone else on the team? Number two, where did you see someone carry the team in a way that you could not? And number three, how can you affirm their contribution publicly or privately? Because respect multiplies when it's modeled, when it's named, and when it's normalized. Next principle that I want to share with you, and the final one: shared ownership. Shared ownership. So let's be honest. A lot of high functioning teams, they function with one or two people who are doing the heavy lifting while everybody waits to be told what to do. That's not teamwork. No, instead that's delegation with burnout on the back end. Have you experienced that? Could your team be experiencing that now? But shared ownership, that's different. That's when everyone leads, when everyone follows what is needed, and the mission doesn't belong to a single person, it belongs to the collective. Healthy teams learn how to pass the mic without losing the message. Write that down. Healthy teams pass the mic without losing the message. This was not my event. It wasn't their event. It was our event. And because of that, the energy, the engagement, and the execution was amplified as we moved along to successful completion of the mission. This is not your job, it's not their job, it's our job. This is not your project, it's not their project, it's our project. How can our project, our moving along, how can that message amplify the energy, the engagement, and the execution of your team? Because remember, when people own the outcome, they show up differently. When people feel trusted, they act with intention. When people feel seen as contributors, not assistants, the whole room rises. When your team owns the outcome, your team will show up differently. When your team feels trusted, your team will act with intention. When your team feels seen as contributors, not just assistants, your team will rise to the occasion. Mm. So, there was a moment during the event when a topic emerged unexpectedly. I could have taken over the conversation, I could have steered it back on track, I could have filled in the silence, but instead, one of the other leaders stepped up effortlessly. She had lived the experience, she had insight that mattered, and so she led. And just like that, the mic was passed and the mission continued. And that's what shared ownership does. It builds trust. You are the leader. You don't always have to step into the spotlight. It fosters expertise. You are the leader. You have the experience, yet you give space for your team members to grow. And it reinforces that leadership isn't about position, it's about participation. Mm. Ask yourself this question right now. Am I creating space for people to co lead, or am I just delegating tasks? Because remember, delegation is transactional, but ownership is transformational. Delegation is transactional, but ownership is transformational. So when I look back at what made this pop up dream team so successful, it wasn't just skill, it was shared commitment, it was shared clarity, and it was shared ownership. Shared. When leaders model that, not just mandate it, your trust will accelerate and transformation will unfold. That's what teamwork is all about. Because great leadership doesn't hold up the spotlight, it passes it so others can rise. Mm. Too often, as leaders, we are trained to look at visible wins. Was the event successful? Did we meet the KPIs? Did it all run on time? And while these things are important, there's a deeper metric of leadership that really matters. Did trust grow? Did my team members finish the project being stronger, not just satisfied? Did collaboration become a blueprint, not just a one off? Here's the truth: trust is the ultimate multiplier. You can't scale mission without trust. We can't build legacy without trust. And you definitely cannot innovate without people feeling safe and feeling seen. So what does this matter? It matters because sometimes your dream team will not arrive polished and rehearsed. Sometime your dream team will show up committed, available, and responsible. And what's the leader's job? The leader's job is to recognize it, to activate it, and to let the team rise. Recognize, activate, rise. Recognize, activate, rise. So I'm going to invite you right now to take a few moments and to really think about this question. And as you think about it, I invite you also to not just think about and reflect, but I want to invite you also to write it down in your journal, somewhere in your notes, and answer the question. Here we go. Where am I relying too heavily on habit and missing the opportunity to build new team trust? The question again. Where am I relying too heavily on habit and missing the opportunity to build new team trust? Write it down, reflect, and answer it. Write it down, reflect, and answer it. I'm also going to invite you to tag a team member who surprised you with their strength and share this episode with someone who's building teams on the fly and needs to know it can work. Tag a team member, share this episode with someone who is also building teams, and remind them, as you remind yourself, we're building this team and it can work. Why? Because the best leadership isn't about having your people in place, but it's about leading with enough presence to unlock the potential in whoever shows up. All right, there you have it. Today, we talked about what does real teams look like. Thank you for joining me today on Transformation Station, where leaders are reminded that their greatest influence doesn't come from control. No, it comes from connection. And if what you heard today inspired you, I want to invite you to subscribe, follow, leave a review. Be sure to meet me here next week for more honest, human centered leadership conversations. And as a matter of fact, as we talk about next week, guess what? Next week, I'm super excited that we have a special leadership guest that's going to join us. We will have retired Navy Lieutenant Commander Tyler Arbuckle, a fantastic leader, and she's going to join us as we discuss how to set boundaries without guilt. All right. So be sure to join us next week. And until then, lead with presence, lead with clarity, and lead with courage. You're building something powerful. So keep on leading.